Hey everyone, I'm NornQueenAlexis and welcome back to the channel. Today, we are continuing our introduction videos to Warhammer 40k's tabletop gaming. In this series of videos, I'm going to help you understand what the armies are all about. This way you make your choice, well, you make the best choice available to you for starting your first army of Warhammer 40k. And I really want to do this because when I first got into 40k, I picked the wrong army and I didn't even know any of the armies. So this series of videos is to explain briefly what the armies are about, what they do, and how they function on the battlefield. Keep in mind, this is a brief example of it. And if you want full breakdowns of the armies themselves, please comment in the comment section down below. With that said, today we are going over the Deathwatch, the Warhammer 40k equivalent of the Xenos Hunters. Well, that's because that's what they are. So, some lore about them. The Deathwatch are the Ordo Militant of the, oh god, what are they called? The Ordo Xenos, which sole responsibility is to protect humanity from the dangers of the alien. Whether this be the Necrons, zombie-like creatures popping up from the ground, a new strain of Xenos disease or virus that's spreading throughout the Imperium, whether it be Eldar trying to perform a horrific ritual, whether it be the Drukhari trying to do the exact same thing but even more evil, or whether it be the Tau trying to infiltrate the Imperium using their greater good, and the Deathwatch going and smacking them. The Deathwatch are a specialist organization. They are made up from every single Space Marine chapter, excluding one. This exclusion is not actually Grey Knights. Go figure. And when I asked them about that, they didn't give me a good answer. Anyway. As I said before, the Deathwatch are an organization dedicated to hunting aliens. That is what they are all about, and they are extremely good at it. So with that said, let's take a look at how their army functions and what I would suggest to buy for your first pickup of this army. Now, what I'm going to try to do is keep it under $100, or at least close to it, though it is very hard to do so. Now, in this series of videos, you probably noticed that I don't suggest picking up the Codex, and that's simply because there are ways of getting the Codex. Also, you can pick up the Codex later at your earliest convenience, and more than likely you can find the rules really quickly by sharing them with a friend or by checking certain apps. Now, that being said, what are the Deathwatch? How do they function on the battlefield? Well, the Deathwatch are a mid-range to close-range army. They have little to no long-range capabilities, and it's rather amusing that they function similar to that of the Dark Angels without the rerolls as much. Now, when I say mid-range, these guys want to stay within 2 foot of their opponent, long-range being outside of that. Actually, let's just say 1 foot of the opponent, and then long-range being 2 foot. Okay? Now, the Deathwatch operate mostly by using bolters. It is very efficient for them to use bolters. Who would have guessed? Their bolters have a special ability called Special Issue Ammunition. They also can reroll based on what they are shooting at. So if you are shooting at your opponent's troop choices, you switch to the doctrine that lets you do that better. If you are shooting at elites, you do the doctrine that makes you do that better as well. And it's all about knowing your opponent's army. So you do have to do a lot of research if this is going to be your first army. So make sure you check out all of the videos. This way you know how your opponent's army functions, as well as checking out some battle reports. You can check out a lot on my channel. You can also check out Mini Wargaming or Winter's SEO or Glacial Geek. They all do amazing battle reports. There are several other battle report channels. I suggest checking them all out like I do, because I binge watch battle reports because I love them. Anyway. Also watch a lot of tiny houses. Really got to stop that. Let's go over like some of the stuff that they bring to the table. The Deathwatch, unlike most armies, can customize every single person in the unit to be different. And this is going to be very, very, very confusing for new players, because you can have things like Terminators in regular squads, you can have mixed armors in regular squads, you can have mixed abilities in regular squads. So, as I said before with some of the other units, make sure you write down index cards, or you write down little data cards. You can use a Magic the Gathering card maker to do this, and that is very good for keeping track of each of the units and what they can do. This way you know what you are doing and you don't accidentally do something that you can't do. I have a bug coming after my face that I'm going to murder. Anyway, I digress. When it comes to their army, it's going to be confusing. I like maxing out on combi weapons and stormbolters. That's how I would run them. But with that all being said, what should you buy for your first $100 purchase? Well, let's take a look at their start collecting. Their start collecting is fairly decent at being 10 Marines and a Dreadnought. Now, Dreadnoughts in 40k right now aren't the best, so I would actually advise against this, though it isn't a terrible purchase if you want the Dreadnought. Personally, for $100, I'd probably go with Kill Team Cassius and the Deathwatch Kill Team. And it's because with this, you actually get a plethora of different types of characters. The Kill Team Cassius models being very static and stuck in the positions that they are with the weapons that they have. So keep that in mind. You are getting exactly what you see. Where the Kill Team can be modded with a whole bunch of different bits. So this gives you a different type of options. It also gives you, I think, 11, 15 Marines. So you can actually do 3 squads of 5 and 1 HQ, because I think this is 11 and this is 5. Yeah, so it's 16. So you do get a captain to use, as well as getting 3 squads of kill teams. Now, again, these guys are very static and stuck in their ways. These guys are not. They can be multi-purposed and used for anything. But I still think it's worth buying this because of the amount of Marines you will get. Alternatively, you can actually buy a couple of kill team boxes, and you can even buy some Primaries Marines. Primaries Marines are really good in the Deathwatch. They make up their own kill teams with other Primaris equivalents or aggressors. But personally, if you're starting out, I would start with simple kill teams. You can get the 10-man kill team for $70, and you could get a watch captain. You can get him in Terminate armor. I would not suggest getting him in Terminate armor, as it's not worth to get him in Terminate armor. You can get him on foot where he looks absolutely normal, or you can get him with the spear slash thingy. Where is that one? It's somewhere here, where he has the halberd. Oh, right here. You can get this one as well. I would suggest not buying any of the HQs, because pretty much you can make those HQs out of the bits from these boxes and save yourself $30. When it comes to Marines, you actually luck out with that, because all you have to do is just say, this guy is my captain, and that's it. Just give him the proper war gear and you are done. But that being said, you do get a multitude of different characters in here. And with the Deathwatch Kill Team box, you do get a pretty good all-around force. So that would be for your first $100. After that, I would probably, and this is going to be a surprise, get more kill teams to max out those squad numbers. Make one dedicated for close combat, as well as making some dedicated for mid-range combat with Stormbolters. And now, here's something you're gonna not hear me say for most other Space Marine chapters. Get Terminators. They can get Terminators. I know they can. Okay, so they don't have them listed with the Deathwatch for some reason, but I would suggest that you get Shooting Terminators. And the reason for that is they have a 2+ save, or you can give them a Storm Shield, which gives them a 3+ save and multiple wounds. That way they can soak up some of the damage so your kill team stays alive and stays functioning more. That is a future purchase. Avoid the Corvus Blackstar. As cool as it looks to have a flying turtle, it is not that effective on the battlefield. It is too many points currently. It's also too wide to really have the maneuverability to stay on the board. And that is a very odd thing to have. Next thing is I would go for some Primaries Marines. Some Intercessors, avoid the Hellblasters. The Hellblasters are really good, but overall you want to maximize your bolter shots, and bolters are a little bit better. Captains are really good with their Stalker bolters, but special issue ammunition is really, really, really efficient. Their bike squads can be interesting. They are pretty fast and pretty useful, especially with the amount of bolter shots that they can get, especially being that you can give them storm bolters and have the twin bolters on the front of it. So you can get, 16 shots? No, it's rapid fire 4 and 4. Yeah, like a ton of shots just from these. You are going to need transports. My suggestion would actually be Razorbacks if you were to get them. Overall, they're pretty decent. They're a mid-tier army, so they're not going to be one of the armies that wins you every single game, and the battles are going to be a little bit hard fought, but the victories are definitely going to be worth it. Now, with that all said, I want to hear your thoughts on the kill team, the Deathwatch army themselves. Do you think that I could pick some better units? Do you think that the Corvus Blackstar is worth it? Do you have different tactics that you would use? Do you have an army list that you want me to look at? Do you have a, would you like to learn a painting guide to painting and making the Deathwatch? I want to hear all of your thoughts in the comments, in the comment section down below. Also, while you're there, be sure to check out all the links in the description down below. There you can follow me on all sorts of social media, ranging from Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, Facebook. You can also follow me on Patreon and support me on Patreon. It goes a long way to helping out the channel. It keeps this series going. It keeps me buying new gear to make these series possible, as well as keeping my lights on and my belly fed. And I like food. Who would have guessed? Anyway, guys, I want to know all of your thoughts. Please comment. As always, I'm NornQueenAlexis. I love you guys. Bye.